Is Max Christie a building block of the future around Cooper Flagg? Just how good of a year is he having? I think he is a building block of the future. On today's One More Thing of Locked On Mavs.
I'm not a doctor, so.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
I don't know.
Sock number change.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Fired up.
You are locked on the Dallas Mavericks. This is one of your hosts, Isaac Harris, covering the Mavs for the last 10 years alongside my good friend, Nick Angstead. Thanks for making Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcasting network out there. And guys, I just want to do one more thing on Max Christie. I want to talk about Max in an extended conversation here for a little bit, because I think Max is having one of the best years for the Mavs so far. And yeah, it's a bummer that they're not like better right now, but I love that this season that Max Christie is having. And I kind of just want to I want to zoom out a little bit and look at, hey, what his future could be in the next handful of years, but also be in the present too, and look how a few things that's making his season so good. And then I'll look at his contract and stuff later on. You know, when I think back, or I think of when Max Christie joined this team, it's obviously the Luka trade. And I've joked about this before. If you're on X or Twitter, I even joked about it again the other day. Right when the Luka trade happens, all right, you know, it's super late. It's a Saturday night, and just how I'm wired with things. Whenever I'm like trying to process things, or I'm frustrated with some things, or it's just in some of those moments, I don't know, some of you might be the same way. I go to like sarcasm, or I go to like humor, whether that's, I don't know if that says something about you or not. There's probably some deep philosophical thing behind that, but I go to like sarcasm and humor a lot in these like moments. And so I just fired off a tweet. It's my like one of the first tweets right after the Luka trade. Everybody's like losing their minds in the NBA world. Mavs fans are freaking out. I'm freaking out too. But I just go to sarcasm and I'm like, hey, people are sleeping on Max Christie. Now listen, I loved Max. I mean, I liked Max Christie. I thought he was a good player, but obviously this is about like you giving up on Luka. And dude, it was unbelievable. The amount of like hatred that came from that tweet. I even got some stuff of like, hey, watch your back when you like leave the arena for Mavs games and stuff. I'm like, all right, God bless. It's just, but it's kind of like the irony of that now that we are still in the calendar year of the Luka trade. It's crazy. When it's all said and done, will it be called the Max Christie trade? Coming up next. No, it's just, I think we are sleeping on Max a little bit, as funny as it is, but because he was kind of like this, he's like super young. I actually made fun of him when he was on the Lakers, because there was this graphic that went around of like him and Austin Reeves together, and it was like the next star duo in the NBA, and I was like, all right, let's chill out a little bit. Okay. Now Reeves is doing amazing. And Max is having a good year too. Wouldn't say he's like a star, but he's having a really good year. And I think even, he comes over in this trade and he's kind of like the young piece. It's centered around Anthony Davis. Obviously they get a first round pick in that, but then you get this kind of like young flyer piece in the deal, and Max Christie, and Austin Reeves should have been in that deal too. But Max comes over and it's like, all right, well, now you get to see like a potential of Max. Like the offense is going to look different. What does it look like for Max? The end of the year gets kind of like weird for him because the ball's like in his hands more of a creator role. And then it's like, you kind of like souring a little bit on him at the end of last year. But then he goes into the summer and he's like, man, this is stuff I want to work on. I want to work on just being more aggressive with the ball and ball handling. And you have seen that so much this year. What's crazy is he's still 22 years old. So one, if you just don't want to be in a hype fest about Max Christie for the next 10 or 15 minutes, then this episode's probably not yours. But I just want to talk about how good Max Christie is. He's still 22 years old, which is the same age as Ryan Nembhard. So it's pretty crazy thing about that. Cause we think about Ryan Nembhard as this, which he is a rookie, but he's the same age as Max Christie. And Max Christie, it feels like, he had all this time in LA, I'd say all this time. And now he's been in Dallas since, February, and he's still the same age as Ryan Nembhard. So I'm not going to say and be like, oh, he's basically like a rookie, but it just goes to show you just how young Max Christie is. And when you're talking about building out this roster, because I think one of the biggest things for Dallas over the next 12 months, starting from now, before the trade deadline, going into the draft next summer, going into free agency next summer, and when the calendar year in the NBA, switches over, and then going into training camp, all of the next 12 months is about how you're going to build around Cooper Flagg. Short-term, long-term, finding the pieces, creating flexibility to build around Cooper, which pieces fit around him, what type of pieces do you want around Cooper Flagg? And I think it's a really cool opportunity for Max Christie at 22 to be playing this role here in Dallas, that I think he is a type of building block piece that you want to keep around, that you want when you're examining this roster. You look at some of the age stuff and of some of the other players, and if they want to go younger, then Max still fits. If they want to do a win now type of thing, Max still fits, because he does these things that every team wants. Every team wants a wing that is around his size, that can shoot threes at the efficiency that he shoots them, and the type of teammate and professional that he is. So he's just 22. And he's been durable this year. There have been only two players for the Mavericks this year that have played in all 27 games. Can you guess them both? I'll wait. Oh, wait, did someone say Max and Naji Marshall? Then you got it right. Max is one of the two players that's played in every single game for the Mavs this season. And he's kind of taken on, before I get into some of his shooting, he's taken on that primary defender role, that point of attack defender. He's taken on the SGAs of the world and some of these opposing point guards that, we looked at it going into the season saying, well, who's going to be that guy for Dallas? Because, we penciled in, and that's how it was early on, that Klay was going to start. We know Cooper's going to start. And then you start going around, and PJ and Anthony Davis wants to play the 4. So then Gafford or Lively's going to start. Well, it's like, who's going to guard the opposing point guard? And then bam, Max eventually takes Klay Thompson's spot. Like, I know that it's a natural thing for a lot of us, especially fans that are not in the organization, that's not in the locker room or knows all the personalities or coaches and everything, to just be like, well, yeah, that was natural. Like, Klay was struggling and Max should be starting. It's not that easy. Like, I remember early on the season having a conversation with a national media person there at the game. And one of the things we talked about standing there in the hallway was, well, the decision that they have to make soon, and it's just a matter of how it's going to go over, is they got to start Max over Klay Thompson. And he's like, I think they know that, but then like, how are they going to address that with Klay? Because that was the thing with Klay back at Golden State. They started starting Podziemski over him. And then, Klay was relegated to the bench. It's like, how is he going to take that? And eventually this is what Dallas did, right? Like they're like, we got to roll with Max. Like, Max is the better player right now. He's playing better basketball right now. And for all that we know, like, Klay has been an awesome, I love Klay so much, but he's just been an awesome teammate with it and understands it, to my knowledge, and is adjusted to that role. And here Max is now, he's, playing 30 minutes a game. He's starting every game. He's the point of attack defender. And he is that 3-and-D guy that they desperately need on the team. Let's take a quick break, and I want to talk about his shooting, and I want to talk about his role moving forward. Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Skims. Guys, when we get a package in the mail and it comes from Skims, I'm like, is that for my wife? No, it's not. It's for me. Because, man, I've got a couple packages from Skims now, and It's honestly the best underwear I have. When Skims announced that they were making underwear for men, the reaction made perfect sense. People have been talking about Skims comfort for years. Most guys, though, stick to whatever they've been buying since college. The same fits, same waistbands, that roll, and a whole lot of setting. Skims Men challenges that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone's been talking. Guys, once I tried it, it's over. It's the best underwear I have. Once I had it, that third baby came along for us, which not here yet. Coming up in about 4 or 5 weeks, we'll have our third kid. They're designed to feel good, fit right, to actually stay put. No slipping, no sagging, no adjusting. Just genuinely great underwear that makes you feel confident and comfortable. I honestly didn't expect underwear to be this big of a game changer, but Skims completely surprised me. Shop Skims Men's now at skims.com. And when you place an order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey and select our show from the drop down to let them know that we sent you. This podcast is also brought to you by our longtime friends over at Game Time. The World Cup, man, it's here in North America, in Dallas even. We have 2 Argentina games. We have some Japan games. We have an England game. If you want tickets to the World Cup, Game Time is the way to go, because this is the first time since 1994, and we don't know when it's coming back. So now's the time. Game Time app, it's clutch. Finally giving the fans real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops, because we need those World Cup tickets to drop right now. Get alerts when great seats open. Buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. You pull up the app, and the layout makes it so simple to scroll through the matchups, compare the seat views, pick a game, tap a section, have your tickets locked in within minutes. No confusion, no hunting for the fine print. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets in every match, concert, and event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Game Time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All righty. Talking about Max Christie, honestly, I'm just bragging on him. He's just playing so good at basketball. I think it's worth talking about. The Mavs, even though they lost against the Jazz, and they're still a ways back from being 500, I'm super impressed with Max Christie. He's still 22. He's durable. He's that point of attack defender right now for Dallas. And the biggest thing for him is his shooting. Like, to play, I think even when you're building around, everybody needs shooters, right? So that's like, you're just like, hey, well, that's kind of a cliche thing, is to say, oh, he's a shooter and that's what they need. Every team needs shooting. That's right. And when you already have a guy like Cooper, or even when you had a guy like Luka, you need to surround these guys with shooting. And when I look at pieces moving forward around Cooper Flagg, then we need some elite shooters. And right now, Max Christie is one of the best shooters in the game. Max Christie is one of 5 players in the entire NBA that's taken at least 5 3-pointers a game and hitting them at a clip of at least 45%. You got to put that qualifier of at least 5-3, because some people are like, oh man, this guy's shooting like 46% from 3. And it's like, all right, cool. He's shooting 2 threes a game. Max is getting a lot of threes up. He's getting at least 5 threes a game, and he's hitting them at least 45%. That's really, really dang good. You start looking at some of those stats in the corner 3-pointers. He's literally one of the best corner three-point shooters in the game. And those are the type of shots that, especially this offense, this Triano offense, really tries to generate a lot of, are these shots in the corner. This is where Max Christie's camped out a lot of times, and he's really good at doing that. And considering his age and what he's already elite at right now, and the type of basketball that he's playing right now, and the efficient basketball he's playing, when I'm looking at this team moving forward, however you feel about the direction in which you think they should go the rest of this year, take that out of the equation. Over the next handful of years, you are building around Cooper Flagg and finding pieces that fit around Cooper Flagg. Max Christie fits around him. And I think the question for me is, like, what type of player can he grow into? Like, what is that path? If you want to do the comp thing with him, I've been watching, the Spurs in the NBA Cup. Shout out NBA Cup, big time. But I look at a guy like Devin Vassell, and I'm like, can he be a Devin Vassell type of guy? What Vassell brings to the Spurs. And you look at the Spurs, and it's like they already got their Fox guy that handles the ball. They have Harper. They have Stephon Castle. Like, they have these three guards that handle the ball all the time. They initiate offensive stuff. And then they obviously have Wemby. But it's like, you look at Vassell, and he's like, man, he's guarding. He did a really good job at SGA the other night. He's guarding the SGAs of the world. He's getting these open threes. He's getting into the paint a little bit more, and I think that's the next step for Max Christie. But it's like, can he be what Devin Vassell is for the Spurs? Can he be a Nickeil Alexander-Walker whenever Minnesota goes to the conference finals and gets toasted by Luka Doncic? Can he be? And these are two older players that you go back a handful of years, but you go to like a KCB, a Caldwell Pope, you go to like a Danny Green. These are guys that have rings playing that type of role, that 3-and-D type of role, that are not like the 3-and-D guy that's like an OG. That's like OG has more offense to his game now, but like that's guarding like fours, but it's more of like the smaller 3-and-D type of players. So is that the range for Max Christie? And then I put like ultimate next level of like, can he be a Mikal Bridges type of player? Mikal's better than him. Mikal's just an overall better player than him, especially right now. But if Max Christie could get to the level that Mikal Bridges is at right now, oh, that's a huge win for Dallas. Like, that is big time. And I think that the last thing I want to talk about is like his contract stuff. So you have Max Christie right now, 22. He makes $7.7 million this year. He makes $8.2 million next year. And then he has a player option for the 2027 summer. So you don't have to deal with, you don't have to deal with any extension stuff right now, or at least in the middle of this season, because he still has next year under contract. But once you go into next summer, next year, then you're talking extension with Max Christie, right? Like, you're talking of, you go into the year of 2026, you're figuring out what that extension looks like for Max. A long time ago, I say a long time ago, like month or two months ago, maybe, we were talking about, was the amount that Dallas could offer Max Christie going to be a restricted type of amount? Like, was there a cap on it at a much lower number? And I even like misspoke on the show, and I went back. If you heard, I try to correct it after hearing Bobby Marks talk about it more and on DLLS with Bobby and the crew over there. And because of this new CBA, this newer CBA that they entered into a few years ago, Dallas can offer him much more money in which I thought they could, which would put an extension amount for Dallas being able to offer Max next year in the like high teens. And I think that's the type of range. Initially, I thought it was going to be like $12 or $13 million. I'm like, Max is going to need and want more than $12 or $13 million. Just of like how the league values that type of position. But if they can offer him in the high teens, you're looking at like a $17-18 million range at like the last year of that deal being 20 or a little, 21, somewhere 22, maybe, whatever the machination of that deal is. I think that's the type of range that you're looking at for Max Christie. He's making $7 million right now, $8 million. If you can double that in the next extension, I think that's a big win for Max. And honestly, if I feel like that's a win for both sides. Like, and that's why I would love to, personally, I would love to keep Max. Am I saying that Max Christie is untradeable and untouchable for the Mavs going into the trade deadline? No, I'm not saying that. There are deals out there for some really good players in the league that's like, hey, if the cost is Max Christie to get X player to go alongside Cooper Flagg, then you obviously make that type of deal. But on the grand scheme of things, if you're just trying to swap out playing cards, reshuffle the deck, or like deals like that type of thing, I'm keeping Max Christie. I'm not going out and shopping Max Christie right now. So am I hanging up on every single thing? No. But am I going out shopping and saying, hey, what would you take for Max Christie? I'm not doing that either, because I think that extension number would be a win for both sides. And I think he's the type of player that I would want around Cooper Flagg moving forward. So no matter what direction that they go for the rest of this year, I'm looking at it and I'm watching how Cooper and Max play together. That's one of the things that going into it, I thought this year was going to be kind of about like how Cooper and Dereck Lively play together, when really I think now it's shifting for me of how does Cooper and Max Christie play together, because I think Max can be one of those guys to be a building blocker alongside Cooper for many years possibly. So hats off to Max Christie. I love the season that he's having. I hope he continues to play at this high level, and we'll see what the future holds. And if he continues playing like this, he's gonna get a lot more richer and hopefully stay a Maverick for the time being. We'll be back with another episode later on tonight. There's you good. One more thing. No tanking talk. Be happy, people. Be happy.